All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. For years, the tech world has been absolutely obsessed with rumors about Apple finally making a foldable. Well, today we are completely bypassing the rumor mill. We're going to break down the massive, concrete hardware and software leaks surrounding Apple's highly anticipated first foldable device, the iPhone Fold Ultra. There's a ton of groundbreaking behind-the-scenes data to cover here, so let's dive right into exactly what Apple is building. But okay, before we geek out over the tech, we've got to talk about the elephant in the room, that staggering price tag. The latest leaks are pointing to an eye-watering 2 million to 3 million rupees. Yeah, you heard that right. This isn't just a new phone. This is an ultra-premium tech category entirely of its own. It really sets the stage for a device that isn't just a slight upgrade, but a total overhaul of what a smartphone can even be. I mean, at this unprecedented price point, Apple literally has to deliver absolute perfection. And if you're wondering why the stakes are just so incredibly high for this launch, well, just look at this number, 10,000 crore. According to the leaks, this is the massive annual investment Apple is reportedly paying Google just to catch up in the AI race. They're effectively buying their way back to the top of the AI food chain. So Apple is pouring astronomical resources into making sure this device is flawless, both on the hardware and the artificial intelligence fronts. This launch absolutely has to succeed, and honestly, this investment proves they know it. Okay, moving on to Section 1, revolutionary design and hinge. Let's see how they're pulling this off. You know, initially, all the buzz pointed to a flip-style phone, that compact design that just folds into a little square. But actually, scratch that. They abandoned that idea at the last minute. Instead, they went all in on the book style, the kind that expands outward into a large tablet format. They realized that for a device this premium, saving a few inches of pocket space just wasn't the goal. Maximizing screen real estate for deep productivity, real multitasking, and totally immersive media. That was the absolute priority. Now the hinge is always the Achilles heel of any foldable, right? Well, Apple is tackling this with a liquid metal hinge. Get this is actually a material technology they bought the rights to 16 years ago, and they're finally putting it to use. It's stronger than titanium, stronger than steel, and crucially, it allows the phone to fold completely flat without a single crease on the display. By ditching that top surface layer you see on traditional folding screens and engineering this crazy durable hinge, they've created a perfectly smooth, zero-crease experience. It's something competitors have been trying to nail for years. To really grasp the sheer engineering marvel here, you have to consider the thickness. We all know Apple loves pushing the boundaries of thinness. They just did it with the iPad Pro. But the iPhone Fold Ultra totally shatters that record. Unfolded, it's an incredibly thin 4.5 millimeters. That is literally going to be the thinnest Apple device ever made. And even when you fold it completely in half, it's only 9.5 millimeters thick. So holding this massive foldable in your hand is going to feel practically identical to holding your standard non-folding iPhone today. No bulky brick in your pocket. And when you open up that 4.5 millimeter profile, you're greeted by some massive display dimensions. On the outside, you've got a very comfortable 5.5-inch display, perfect for quick tasks, checking notifications, taking a call. But flip it open and boom, you unlock a massive 7.76-inch inner display. You are essentially sliding a full-sized immersive tablet experience right into your pocket, ready to go the second you need to get some real work done, or, just watch a movie on the train. However, you can't build something this impossibly thin without making some drastic hardware compromises. The traditional Apple layout we're all used to, it's been completely shifted. First off, no Face ID. Instead, the fingerprint sensor is built directly into the power button. The volume buttons have been bumped up to the top edge, and that new action button, it's completely gone. Plus, there is absolutely no physical SIM card slot. This thing relies 100% on eSIM. Why do all this? Well, when you're engineering a device down to 4.5 millimeters, every single fraction of a millimeter matters. Eliminating those physical components was literally the only way to achieve this design. All right, let's pivot to the software side. Section 2, iOS 27, and the AI catch-up. To really understand Apple's aggressive new software strategy, we have to look back at their past missteps. Leaks indicate that Apple took a staggering 2,400 crore financial hit in the past, literally having to refund angry users, all because of poor, substandard AI implementations. Ouch. That massive financial penalty is exactly why they are now pouring billions into these Google partnerships and just completely overhauling iOS 27 from the ground up. They simply cannot afford another AI failure of that magnitude. And that AI overhaul is bringing some incredibly advanced capabilities to iOS 27. Check this out. You'll actually be able to change camera angles after you've taken a photo, with the AI flawlessly generating the background and reflections to match the new perspective. It's like magic. Also, the object cleanup tool is finally going to work perfectly without leaving behind those weird blurry artifacts. Safari is going to autonomously monitor the web for you, sending instant alerts when a sold-out item is back in stock or drops in price. And get this, you can just snap a quick photo of your lunch, and the built-in AI will automatically calculate the exact calories and fat content right there on your plate. Absolutely wild. The biggest evolution of all, though, is Siri. Thanks to dedicated ChatGPT-style integration, Siri finally possesses deep, continuous contextual memory. You can ask something super casual like, "Hey Siri, what was that Netflix password my friend told me?" And it will actually search back and retrieve forgotten passwords or specific details from your past conversations. It completely transforms Siri from this sort of rigid voice assistant into a highly intelligent, deeply helpful personal database that literally remembers everything so you don't have to. Furthermore, to actually take full advantage of that huge 7.76-inch screen, Apple is introducing a variation of the software that basically acts as FoldOS. Unlike standard iOS, which really forces you into a single app focus, this brings true split-screen multitasking to the iPhone ecosystem for the very first time. Finally, right? You can seamlessly run a high-def YouTube video on one side while typing away on WhatsApp on the other, side by side. It is perfectly optimized just for this massive display. Okay, let's look at what's under the hood. Section 3, Unprecedented Power in Cameras. Powering a chassis like this requires some absolute internal brawn. It'll be driven by the incredibly efficient A20 Pro Bionic chip, utilizing a bleeding-edge 2-nanometer fabrication process. But the real engineering miracle here? The battery. Somehow, Apple managed to squeeze a massive 5,400 mAh battery, their biggest ever, inside that tiny 4.5mm frame. And to keep this ultra-thin device from practically melting in your hands during those heavy AI workloads, they've successfully integrated a vapor cooling chamber. This actively pulls heat away from the processor, keeping the whole phone perfectly cool even when you push it to the absolute limit. Building on all that power, the leaks are revealing a highly capable quad camera system, 2 24-megapixel lenses and 2 48-megapixel lenses. Now, to keep the device that thin, they did have to sacrifice the bulky telephoto lens. However, Apple has reportedly perfected something the whole industry has struggled with for years: flawless under-display cameras. The internal selfie cameras are going to be completely invisible beneath the screen. No notch, no hole punch, nothing. This guarantees your massive tablet experience stays totally uninterrupted and immersive while still snapping flawless photos. And wait, it gets wilder. This is perhaps one of the most futuristic leaks we've seen yet: network access in absolute dead zones via SpaceX. The reports heavily suggest a direct collaboration with SpaceX's satellite technology. That means if you're stranded deep in a forest, hiking up a remote mountain, or quite literally anywhere on Earth with zero cellular coverage, the iPhone Fold Ultra will tap into space tech to bring you high-speed network connectivity. It's a truly unbelievable safety and connectivity feature, a real game changer. Aesthetically, though, Apple is keeping things extremely sleek. The leaks show the standard upcoming iPhone 18 Pro line featuring these vibrant new colors like sky blue and a really premium matte black. But for the Fold Ultra, they're leaning hard into that ultra-premium price point by sticking to absolute minimalist luxury. It will exclusively launch in just 3 distinct sophisticated colorways: silver, white, and a pure, deep black. So that brings us to the ultimate question. We've explored the zero-crease liquid metal hinge, that massive 5,400 mAh battery practically magically squeezed into a 4.5mm frame, and the radical AI catch-up happening in iOS 27. But at the end of the day, is all of this unprecedented engineering worth the astronomical price tag? Are you going to be saving up for this revolutionary folding iPhone? Or does the standard Pro Max suddenly look like a much more reasonable option? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this deep dive helped clarify exactly what the future of Apple hardware looks like. See you next time.